So anyway, that was Myanmar, and then I took off out of Myanmar, Burma, went into Thailand, and I went to the Thai Song Greet in Bangkok was the place to go.
Yeah.
But long before Koh San Road and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Thai Song Greet, and it was a guest house, a restaurant down the bottom, and the rooms upstairs. You paid so much for a room, which was basic room. You saved so much with it's got hot shower, so much if it's got aircon in it, and so much if it's got a woman in it as well. So they came fully equipped.
Ah, right. So you could rent a room with a with a housemaid, so to speak.
Yes, the temporary wife, if you like.
A bed warmer. Okay.
That's
not that you need a bed warmer in bloody Bangkok,
no, you don't.
Do you?
Anyway, while I was there, this guy came around recruiting Phalang to be frontmen so they could sell their snake oil.
Okay.
Snake oil is stuff that they brewed up in a yard, and it was mostly alcohol, of course, but they throw a few herbs and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Slap a label on it. It will cure anything.
Right.
So I went around the country with this guy as his front man, and so my job was to attract the crowd. So he would say, well, you've got to say, put lung kindi or put car kindi, good for your back or your knees or whatever. Well, I did that for a while, and I got pretty bored with that. So I started off saying a song like, I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts, here they are, standing in a row, big ones, small ones, just anything to attract the crowd. And then I got bored with that, so I decided to tell them that if they voted for me, that I would build them schools and hospitals and da-da-da-da-da-da. And that went on for a while until one day, big crowd, I get this guy right up the back. What's in it? I thought, oh, God. I've been sprung. So it turns out this guy worked at the Philippines embassy, spoke perfectly English. He says, look, I know exactly what you're doing. I know exactly what's in that stuff. I ain't going to say anything to anybody. So I said to the driver, I think it's time to leave. We've got to get out of here. Yeah.
So, how were you supporting yourself all this time, by travelling?
That was the first job I got. He was giving me $5 a day plus food and keep.
Yeah.
So he paid for the accommodation.
$5 a day?
$5 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't have any
plus
expense.
Food and keep. Okay, so, yeah.
That was the first job I got, and we'll get to
so you didn't have a big bank account full of money. You were just working as you went.
$300
you were
is
just
what I left New Zealand with.
Okay.
Sorry, the UK with, because at that time you could only take 300 out of the country.
Yeah.
In that time, September 1972, there was a problem with currency and all the rest of it. So they were not letting anyone take more than $300. That's £300 out. So that's what I started out with. I got back to England 15 months later with nothing in my pocket, but I got as far as Japan and flew back to England.
Okay.
All on that amount of money. Take a look at that.
Oh, no. Black soldier fly larvae.
Black soldier fly larvae. They are anywhere between 50 to 70% fat and protein.
Much smaller setup than your last setup.
But this one
down
works.
Here.
This one works.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do is...
How you guys going? Yeah, good. What we got over here? Oh, I got the little units over here. Oi, boys. How you going? Benjang Day?
Yes. We're going to...
That's your little units over there,
mate. Yes. They're ready for the breeder. Although we're selling them to people that raise them.
For the breeder.
Sorry, we sell them to people that raise.
Oh, raise them. Right. Yeah. Wasn't sure if you said breeder or freezer.
Oh, no, breeder. So they don't want to be breeding piglets. So we make the piglets and we sell them.
Okay.
And then people raise them. We get.
And these are a breeding pair in here, is it? Or
these are both females. These are our spare females that are just getting to be a point where they're big enough to be mated.
hello. No, she's shy. No, she's not shy at all. There you go.
Okay, so
what do we got? Black larvae. They're black.
Yeah. They're now going to get fed to the chickens.
Okay.
So we're going to feed them to.
Bud up, does it?
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking.
It is, yeah.
That this is buds.
Yeah. No, it's the seeds.
Oh, that's the seed. So
Yeah.
that makes that female. Sorry, makes it
Male, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh well.
On the seed, but
Never mind. We'll have to grow some more. Yeah, so we've got piles. So this is what we feed the black soldier flies, or we feed them this, or whatever.
Okay.
They'll eat anything that was once.
and as you've said before, this runoff from the pig
Yeah. Oh, so let's go over
pig
here.
station. Look at this stuff, just thrives in here, doesn't it?
So this is the runoff from the pig shed.
Okay, and then
drops
it
into a hole.
just seeps down into
Yeah,
this. Whoops.
And
into
then
the
once this
soil
fills
there.
up, we just dig it out and put it through the solid. Once I can get it working properly.
Oh, no. Why are they black? The other, is it just they're aged?
Yes.
And the new ones are white?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
You guys know what you're getting?
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead. Feed the chickens.
Like dancing larvae, not dancing shrimp. Dancing larvae.
Thank you.
He just stands back and lets the others eat first, doesn't he? He'd be the toughest guy in there.
Yeah. He's the male.
Letting the ducks hook in.
Free food. Free protein.
Food, free protein. So that's solely what you grow black soldier fly larvae for as
Yes.
a livestock feed,
Yes.
protein supplement.
Yeah. At some point, I'm hoping to expand it, have much more material, many thousands more black soldier flies.
Yeah.
And then I can make pig feed, protein pig feed.
Okay.
Oh yeah, while we were driving around, excuse me, we went past this US base, and they were flying B-52s, and they were painted absolutely jet black, and the wings would go like this as they were taking off, and you saw them running off down the runway.
Yeah.
And they were flying off west to Cambodia, dropping bombs.
Yeah.
Yes, that was Nixon's war.
Yeah, you were pretty close to all the action back in those days, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I stayed in Thailand for a total of 3 months, and of course I went up and got a visa renewal up in Laos at one time, and then I flew to Hong Kong because money wasn't that great, so I was told that I could earn money teaching English in Hong Kong. So I flew to Hong Kong and stayed in a place called the Wing On Hotel. It was 11 stories high, and this guy had rented a floor, and he built these rooms that were 6 feet square, 2 meters square, and in it he put 4 bunk beds, 2 on one side, 2 on the other, 6 feet long, 2 feet wide, a little bit of an alleyway, a little couple of drawers. You know, each person gets a drawer, but it was $1 a night.
Yeah.
So I would go down, and there was this little place that was selling wonton soup, and that was pretty much my diet for the whole time in Hong Kong. I found work teaching English to various people, and of course I'd nowhere to do it, so I went and sat in a hotel lounge, and we talked backwards and forwards and so on and so forth, until at some point some official in the hotel would come and say, excuse me sir, but your room number please. And I'd, 135. Okay sir, and what's your name? I'd give him my name. And then of course as soon as he disappeared to go and check, I'd time to go. I'd go to another hotel. Yeah. So I earned a bit of money doing that. And then somebody said, oh, Japan, you can earn lots of money in Japan. Okay. Before I went to Japan, I went to Taiwan and stayed in this, people are sort of renting out space, floor space in their house. And the heating system was just like the Romans used to have. And it was like these tunnels in the concrete floor. And they put little barbecue with the charcoals on it. And they blow the hot air through these tubes.
All right.
To heat the floor.
Yep.
That was it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I met a few people there, and they were in Taiwan because they couldn't get into China. One guy was learning various martial arts, and I looked at his knuckles. You know how you've got a sort of a lump knuckle? He had flat knuckles from all the exercising he was doing. He said, I'd rather be in China, but I can't, so I'm in Taiwan. But from there, I got to Japan. Another story. I was pretty close to flat broke by then. I think I might have about $100 left in my pocket. And so the official said, you know you can't work on this tourist visa, and you have $100 in your pocket, and the cheapest flight out of here is more than $100. What are you going to do? So I said to him, Western Union are going to pick up some money. And he looked at me and he thought, oh yeah. So he went, another guy comes back, same stupid questions, same stupid answer, until the fourth guy comes back, who was obviously the top dog. And he just looked at me and he said, you know, da-da-da-da. And I just said, same stupid answer. And he just said, oh yeah, right, okay. Rolled his eyes and he says, off you go. Because he knew he'd have to pay to put me on a plane to get him out. So he thought, off you go, I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
So
he's not paying for it.
No, he's not paying for it. He's not going to deal with it.
Yeah.
Off you go. So I got there. There was a place called Akubu House in Tokyo. And there were lots of people sitting around. And basically it was the sort of early days of, they have tube places where you can rent a tube in Tokyo.
A tube to stay in, yeah.
So
have heard about them, yeah.
So this was a sort of early, and basically it was just a whole lot of bunks.
Yeah.
There was a floor space, bunks. And so someone said, oh, you want to teach? Right, okay. Get the Japan Times, because everywhere's got a something Times, and they were always in English. So I looked there, someone wants a teacher. Oh, okay. So I trotted off. And they gave me a bit of the third degree, and they said, oh, right, yeah, and you have a degree, of course. And I said, yes, of course, because that was the right answer. And they said, what university? London University. I don't know if there is a London University. And what did you teach? Sociology. Sorry, what did you learn? Sociology. I have a degree in sociology. Oh, okay. Sounds good. So they hired me. And I got $5 a day, food and keep, and I was just had to do conversational English for 2 or 3 hours, 3 times a week, to the residents of this house. Now it was a regular sized house, and they had fitted it out with bunks. So these guys would come and stay in these, knowing that they were paying to be near some farang, whatever the Japanese word is, and they would learn some English. So she was just renting out the bed space. So then I went into town and I got a few jobs there during the day, and I managed to earn enough to fly myself home.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
This is eggshells, mate. Eggshells just bashed up, and through your
machine.
The machine that I showed you, you can see it now.
Cornflour.
Oh wow. Puts these smashed up eggshells through. It's a calcium supplement for your livestock. For
chickens.
For chickens.
Any bird that's going to lay eggs.
Okay. Do you just feed it to them like that?
Yes. I'll just mix it in with their feed.
Okay.
Whatever you're giving them, food scraps or whatever. So, black solidifies the protein, which is the calcium. So
will they pick that up, or is it picked up when they're eating the other food? You know what I mean? Is this palatable to them where they'll just pick it up?
You just mix it up.
If you were to give this to them just as is, would they still pick it up, eat it?
One way to find out.
Okay. Let's see if they take a few more bites rather than just a couple and think they've been fooled, hey? Here, chook, 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 chook.
There you go. No, not interested.
Okay.
So you mix it in with the other feed.
We mix it in with other food.
It's like trying to give a child
always got to do these experiments, haven't we, mate?
Absolutely.
It's the only way to learn.
Yep. The teaching position. One of the guys in the house was a manager, a transport manager. So he put me on a truck right in the middle of the traffic. Because it was the northern depot. So 2 guys volunteered to take me in the middle of the traffic all the way to the southern depot. They put me on another truck, sent me to Shimonoseki. In Shimonoseki, which is right down south, I was thinking, right, I'm going to South Korea now. To South Korea, I got on the boat and I met this guy who was a military captain at the Busan Army base. So we chatting backwards and forwards, and he says, "Oh, we got a billet. You can sleep on the couch, no worries." So for a week, I slept on a couch of a billet, and I don't think he talked to his mates about it because I got some fairly dirty looks about what was I doing there. So I spent a week on the base, watching the base and how it functions. And the way it was functioning at the time, they put the uniforms on in the morning. And then they'd go down to they'd take the uniforms off, put the civvies on, go down to the PX, load up the back of a taxi with a pallet of frozen orange juice, and then they'd bribe the gate man, and then go off down the red light districts, and that's where they spent their afternoons. So he was a medical captain, and he told me that one of his jobs was to give lectures about guys getting the clap and all the rest of it, and how to be careful and all the rest of it. He says one day, he said, I didn't have my heart in the speech at all because that morning I'd had a jab myself. And okay, so I'm in Busan, and there's this island called Jeju-do Island off the south coast. So I thought, oh right, I'll get on the ferry and go for that. So I got on the ferry, bought a 3rd class ticket, as I always do. Went in there was a few bunk beds and the floor and all the rest of it, so I chucked my stuff on one of the bunks. And I sat there, and then the floor kept filling up with people. I'm thinking, what's going on here? And then the ticket man comes around, and he looks and he says, you got 3rd class ticket? Yes, 3rd class ticket. 1st class. 3rd class. So he shoved me on the floor.
You just thought you had the pick of the bunks, mate.
I did. Well, I was the first one in. They shoved me down the line. Anyway, so while I was on the island, I met some street cleaners. They went out and got a bucket of rice wine, and so I got absolutely pickled. And they were living in a yurt. And of course, at that time, Jeju-do Island was just like Laos is now, completely undeveloped.
Yeah.
It's one of the wealthiest spots on the planet right now in South Korea.
Wow.
Yeah. So after that, I then got on a train, went up to Seoul, and I was talking to a businessman. He said, "Oh, you're getting there." It was 9:30 in the evening. He says, "Oh, you do realise 10 o'clock is a curfew, don't you?" Curfew. So I got off the train, And I'm walking around like, what do I do now? And then this kid come out and he says, can I help you? I said, sure. Told him the story. He took me to the police station, and then he said, right, we're going back to my parents' house, and they put me up for the night and fed me. And all
that was nice.
Yeah. Got on a plane. I'm back in London.
Right. That was it?
That was it.
How long was you on the road?
15 months.
15 months.
Yeah. And that flight back home, I went through 8 time zones. So I got on the plane. I started my day at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you add 9 hours to all of that. And getting back from the airport to home, I got the last bus into the nearest bus station and had to walk 2 miles to my parents' house at midnight, banging on the door. Just passing, thought I'd drop in.
Yeah. Were they pissed off at somebody banging on the door?
Well,
until they see.
Who the hell is that? Of course, it never bothered me father. But
so 15 months, all for £300, because that's what you left the country with.
That's right.
And you just supported yourself on the road.
Yes. Somewhat illegally.
The life and times of Chris Perkins, the travelling Cockney. Thank you very much, mate, for that. Thank you. Better give you guys a bit of a look at this spread Chris has put on. His own pork there, banana fritters. Salad, yeah. Very good, mate. Thank you. Ah, brown rice, is it?
Red rice.
Red rice. That's different, that rice, isn't it?
Red rice. Yep.
It's not as sticky. It's still a sticky rice, but not as sticky as the white one. It's good.